All right, so my recording stopped. We'll start up again. So I finished that little section and I need to go back in again and make it a little bit whiter, which is pretty close to white here. And I'm going to finish that last little section there. And as you can see, it went from dark to light and looks pretty amazing, right? Now let's say I wanted to do the same exact thing to the other ear, but I didn't use the same colors. I need to come and use my little eyedropper tool, which where is it? Oh, here it is. Eyedropper. And what I can do is I can click on here and I can say, okay, I want that color. And my brush automatically changes to that color. So now I can take my brush and do what I just did on the other side. So you are going to continue doing this until this is all filled up. I will say there's one more step you can do if it's something you want to do. So you're going to make a new layer and it's going to be in between these two layers. And what you're going to do is I like to, you go to straight black, pure black. I'd like my dots to not be a shade of my color, but just have a black layer on top of them. But I still want to be able to see my color. I just don't want to make these black. Because if I just use black right now and color this in, look at it, covers all of that pretty work that I've done. So I'm going to undo that on my history. What I want to do is I want to, this layer and this layer only, change the opacity of what I'm doing. So I'm going to come down here and make it like maybe a 26. We can change it, you can mess around with it. So now when I go over this, it's making it the same color but a little bit darker. Now I think I want to go a little bit darker on that, so I'm going to change it to a 39 here. Oop, outside of the lines. So on these you have to be really careful and take your time. But so this keeps the same color as my background, and as I'm going it just puts a little layer of black on top. So that is another option that you have for doing this. When you are done with your animal, let's say I'm done. So I'm going to go to zoom. I'm going to zoom out so I can see everything. Zoom out, zoom out. Now I am going to make a new layer, which I know we've done a lot of layers. I want to make a new layer, and I'm actually going to move this layer, sorry, layer 3, to the background. I actually want to label it. So if I double click, box comes up and I want to label background. I can deselect this, so Control D will deselect it. I want to make a big square in the background of, let's see here, what's a good color to use? Let's just do a magenta for now. So I want to make a big square in the background here. And because my layer is underneath everything, I can have this really cool background. You guys can mess around and do whatever background you want. Now, it's going to look better if you use one color plus its tints and shades. So what I did up here in the ear on the whole entire thing. On the instructions it says that you can do a accent color. I would pick one if you want to do an accent color. So I would either do a color that's close to this color on the color wheel. So if I were going to do a color close to this, maybe a blue, like a dark blue would look really good with this. So maybe a dark blue or something along those lines. But if I didn't want a color that was right next to this color, I would use its opposite. So the opposite of like a green, a turquoise green like this would be around a red orange. So maybe I have a little red orange in the nose or in the eyes or in the little beard here. It is completely up to you on what you want to do, but be very careful with how many colors you add into this, especially if you're going to add a color on the background and maybe it's just not white or just black. We will talk about how you turn this in and how you save it a little bit later, but for right now, that is the tutorial. You will continue to make it look awesome. Continue with these tints and shades all around the whole entire face. Please, please, please take your time. It makes a huge difference if you take your time. If you need anything or need any help, just let me know.